break the glass. Woo!
Good morning. Today I want to encourage you to break the glass. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what in the world does that mean? You know, I'm not talking about one of those aggravating moments where you drop a glass on the ground and then you walk on it and you cut your foot, or maybe one of those moments of frustration where you get so upset that you throw a glass and you hit the wall and break it. But I want to talk about glass as a limitation today. And in life, we all face limitations, whether it's a physical limitation like this body not allowing me to be an NBA player like I want to be, or other limitations that are imposed on us like laws and rules and regulations. We're all familiar with limitations. We've all heard of that saying, think outside of the box, and we understand what that means. The box is something that limits our vision, which then limits our thinking. But I believe there's another layer, and it's the glass that also presents a limitation. And I want to use my story today to be able to help you to understand this a little bit better. Now, I really like this picture, and not only because it reminds me of a time that I was really cute, but I also like this picture because it reminds me of a time that I had a limitless life. My parents at this phase of my life were entrepreneurs earning 6 figures a year, and as a child at this stage, I had everything that I desired. But 2 years later, it took a little bit of a turning point. My parents pursued their passion, which was to be pastors of a church. But in doing so, they walked away from earning 6 figures a year to earning $25,000 a year combined, raising 4 children. Life for me changed drastically. And in the state of Louisiana, when you earn less than $29,000 a year, you're living in poverty. I come from poverty. And I remember exactly how that felt to have limitations in my life, to be limited on the things that I could do, to be limited on the things that I could have. And quite frankly, I really did not like it, and I wanted a different world for myself. So I worked really hard in school, and I decided that I was going to get a scholarship to college, and I did. And I was so excited that I had this scholarship. But the problem was my thinking had not changed. And because I never had things, as soon as I got the opportunity to work, I started acquiring all of this debt. I bought a car. I started getting all the clothes that I never had. And I had all of this debt on me. And eventually I had to drop out of school just so I can afford the things that I had. Talk about a major failure in life. I was so crushed and so heartbroken. It was the first time that I had a failure of this magnitude, and I can remember being so extremely disappointed in myself, so much that I found myself leaving that optimistic world and crawling into that box. You know, I didn't have a vision for my life at that point. I was so scared that I was going to repeat the cycle, that I was going to live in poverty. I mean, I had all kinds of fears. I feared, would I ever meet the woman of my dreams? Would I be able to adequately provide for a family? I was really, really scared, and I realized that my actions began to become limited by my limited vision. You know, when we have limited vision or limited thinking, our actions become limited because we can't pursue what we cannot first see. And so in that stage, I was moping and groaning and complaining, and I was frustrated and I hated everything. But then one day I decided to muster up enough strength and courage to get up out of that box. And I decided that I wanted to see what the future could look like for me. It was around that time that I started working for a credit union in 2004. And I'm telling you, as soon as I made a decision to see the world differently, all of a sudden my vision became a lot clearer. And I could see all of the possibilities of what I could have, owning a home and marrying a beautiful woman, having kids, having a good career. But something was still restricting me. For some reason, I still felt limited. And that's when I realized that there's this other layer that's outside of the box, and it's the glass. When you're trapped in the glass, you can see everything that you can desire. You can see everything you want. You can see the things you need to do and want to do, but something is still holding you back. And so I had to make a decision to do a few things that began to change that road for me, and I began to break the glass when I did these steps. The first thing I decided to do was to be fearless. You see, I have a definition for fear. I believe that fear is a self-imposed belief in failure over success. When I invest in fear, I believe more in the possibility of failing than I believe in the potential for my own success. So I decided to be fearless, but I decided also to get off of the path of fear and move to the path of courage. See, not only do you have to be fearless, but you have to be courageous. Having the courage to stand and look at adversity and decide that you're going to overcome whatever it is that's standing in the way, whatever obstacle is trying to block you. And when you develop that courage, then the next step becomes a lot easier, which is to take risk. You know, a lot of times we're fearful of taking risks, but risk can provide so many rewards if we're willing to take that step. And a lot of times we're afraid to take the risk because we are so afraid to fail. But that brings me to my next point, and that is that we have to give ourselves permission to fail. We have to understand that, look, when we're trying to be innovative as an industry, when we're trying to pursue our goals individually, sometimes we're going to fail. But failure is necessary often in our path to success. And most times we're afraid to fail because we look at failure as the end of a journey, when failure really could be the beginning of a journey to your success. When I got these principles down pat, my wildest dreams began to take place. I married the woman of my dreams. I have a family. My career began to progress. In 2010, I was the runner-up for Next Top Credit Union Exec. And at 27, without a college degree, I became a CEO. I was blown away. But I decided that I wasn't going to stop there. I wanted to remove another barrier that had been in my way. I wanted to correct the mistake that I had made. I went back to school to pursue my college degree, and in May I graduated with my bachelor's in business administration. But I'm not stopping there. I'm currently enrolled at LSU receiving my master's degree, and I'm excited. What am I trying to say to you today is that anything is possible, so you simply have to take every chance and drop every fear. If you make a decision to be fearless, if you make a decision to be courageous, to take risks and give yourself permission to fail, you will remove the glass that's standing in between you and your wildest dreams. Thank you.